Alright, this is a practical Joule thief light that uses one of these newer power LEDs. And these has been out for a little while now, but these are, I believe, the most efficient emitters that you can buy. Let me see if I can get this thing to zoom in on it. See, that's pretty much what it looks like. It's on a copper octagon heat sink, which is unnecessary for how I'm driving it. But it's a domeless 3-volt emitter. And these are what I use in a lot of my high power flashlights. And these are capable of putting out about 1,000 lumens, and you can feed them about 10 watts. But I basically put one of those guys in here, and I used a decent little cheapo reflector from another flashlight, put it on there, and I used a small bobbin as my ferrite for the Joule thief winding. And on my base resistance, I've got, I believe this is a 250K pot, and this is just so I can control the brightness of the light. And I'm gonna cut it on here. So basically, what I like about having the adjustable light is obviously with for a flashlight, you can get the very low moonlight type setting, which will last you a very long time, but it's not really throwing usable light like that, just barely. Um, or you could turn it all the way up, which is pretty bright. I'm going to show some comparisons. So just kind of, but over here, I've got a Phoenix AA light. This is a Phoenix E12. This is a really good light, but this is just a store-bought light. It's better than your average cheapo AA light, and this is capable of putting out about 100 lumens, I believe. So that right there is supposed to be about 100 lumens, which is pretty good light. You don't really need a whole lot more than that unless you're a flashlight fanatic. But the problem with this is it's using a pretty efficient little driver circuit. It's a little boost circuit, which bumps that AA up to the forward voltage of this Cree LED. But the problem is it's causing that battery to kick out about an amp or more, which means that it's going to get hot rather quickly, as opposed to this light, which is putting out relative brightness is pretty. It's almost as bright, but I don't have to worry about the heat. So this, I've got a 2N222 transistor in there, and that's all. It's all encased in this self-adhering rubber insulation, so I don't have to worry about that overheating or anything like that. Likewise with the bulb, it's on a little heat sink, as you can see, but I don't have to worry about heat with that either because I'm not pushing anywhere near an amp. It's more like 150 to 200 milliamps tops. I believe this maxed out at 150. So it's just the sheer lumens per watt efficiency of this emitter that makes it very useful for AA batteries. And I say that because the added bonus for me is while these are always bright and useful, there's really no need to make one for yourself. The difference is the boost circuits in here will not function quite like a Joule thief. They run down and they no longer provide any light. So for example, I've got a rundown cell over here. I checked the voltage earlier and it was sitting a little bit over 700 millivolts, which you would think it would still be able to get a slight bit of light from, but we know already a Joule thief will still operate from that. So just to show, when I put that battery in here, see if it does anything. I don't think it will. So this won't, the circuit in here just won't do anything with this dead cell. It's just completely dead. You're not getting anything from that. So let's see what happens when we put that in the Joule Thief circuit. It's obviously not going to be anywhere near as bright, but see, the Joule Thief circuit still gets usable light from it. So to me, that is the main difference. It's obviously nowhere near as bright as it was. It wasn't full brightness, but I mean, this is still good light. And this will run down for quite some time. And at this point, it has become more like an actual Joule Thief that people are making. You just get your decent little light. But using the fresh battery, I feel like it's a quite useful flashlight. Simply because I wanted one that was a true Joule Thief that put out some good light that I needed to just throw random AA battery in there. So I thought that was pretty cool. So basically, you got a lot of people out there building these circuits, and they're basically calling them high-powered Joule Thieves, and they're using circuits that take bigger toroids for more current, or maybe even you got these super high permeability cores where you can get by with just 1 or 2 turns of thicker gauge. But I see there a lot of times they're using these 10-watt LEDs, and they're using the cheapo 10 watts off eBay and whatnot. They're skipping over these Crees. I feel like if you were to use one of these Crees, your efficiency is going to be much better, and you may just get a little bit more light. Throw a reflector on there, and then you have a really good flashlight that'll run off of a AA battery, and even run down to the point where it is absolutely completely drained, and when you throw it away, you feel comfortable that you're not wasting anything. So yeah, true Joule Thief flashlight. Have a lot of Joule Thieves, make a lot of Joule Thieves. We'll continue to make a lot of Joule Thieves, but I think these Cree LEDs, they're pretty much a winner to use, especially in a Joule Thief.